Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the My Crazy Dad Podcast, Season 2, Episode 10.
Greetings, salutations, homies and homettes. How the hell you doing?
Isn't that crazy? We're already on Episode 10.
I know.
Maybe because it's the double header. F1 has a triple header.
Yes.
Paul Ricard this weekend.
What?
Paul Ricard is this weekend.
What's that?
The French track.
Oh, yes. F1.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You going to be able to watch it?
Yeah,
Nice.
because the F1 TV app.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you had that.
So I'm going to be like out on the boat. I don't think the people watch this, but you know who I'm surprising.
Yes.
I don't think they watch this, but yeah, I'm probably gonna be on the boat, like sitting there with my phone, like watching the race on the boat.
If you can get it out there.
That's true too.
Because you'd be out in the boonies up there in Maine.
Watch it like I see like Lando about to get his first win ever. It cuts. I'd be like, no!
Just
I'd
don't
be
throw
so
the shit
sad.
in the water, please.
Listen, I'm a big McLaren fan. That would suck. And okay, yesterday, talk about this real quick. The only times that I've walked away from an IndyCar race, yesterday or Saturday, Pato O'Ward got a podium, third place.
Third place.
But Felix Rosenqvist, if you guys want to look up the crash, he hit hard. His throttle like got stuck or something.
Yes.
And he's going 90 straight into like the tire barrier, but he was like, whew, he almost went over the wall. Anyhow, so Sunday they did the second race because they usually do two and some like cool, like Texas they did two races. But yeah, it was 47, I think, was the lap that it was red flagged, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go watch YouTube because friggin' Pato was in 7th place.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna go watch YouTube. I'll see
When I quit watching it, he was up to 5th.
yeah, because you had come in when I was working out, and you were like, he's in 5th now, or
Yeah.
no, you said Takuma Sato or Sato, yeah, was in 2nd or whatever, and I'm like, I don't care about him. But anyhow, I missed him winning, and then he jumped into the fountain. I friggin' missed it.
Yep. It's what you get for giving up on your guy.
I didn't really give up.
It's called karma.
I didn't give up. I was watching YouTube right before I worked out.
You could have waited to work out.
No. Anyhow, yeah, that's how my Sunday went. Was missing my guy win a second time. Because I watched the first Texas, and the second Texas was the one he won. You're like, let's go fishing. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And we miss him win. So, I don't know.
Well, my weekend I spent nervous because I'd gone to the doctors and they got my lab results back and she wanted to talk to me. And so that's the first time I believe I've ever had to go back in and talk to a doctor about lab results. So all kinds of bad shit goes through your head, you know. Am I going to find out I have prostate cancer? You know, what? And it turned out to be okay. I went in as a walk-in this morning, and my liver enzymes are just a little elevated, so I got to go back in August for another lab. And that's it.
I still don't understand how that happens.
I'm not sure either. She didn't explain how it happens.
Like, you don't drink.
No. I mean, not enough to say I do.
Right. You probably drink, like, once every, like, month. But then you don't even drink a lot. You drink, like, one glass.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
My gentleman Jack. Hashtag not sponsored.
But the people that sponsor the show got it for you.
Yes. My brother and my sister-in-law got it for me for my birthday. Big old bottle. I appreciate it.
It was like one of those bottles where, like, you think it's going to be light, and then you're like, what the?
Yeah, it was, I believe, a 1.75 liter.
Damn. You know what would be a nice sponsor? Cliff Bar.
Hashtag not sponsored yet.
Yeah, that is funny. Oh, we can talk about the YouTube versus TikTok boxing fight event thingy. So, I don't know. I just said like a million different things. Anyhow, it was the same night as UFC 263, so I couldn't watch Nate Diaz fight. Did you hear what he said about Khabib and Conor?
No.
He's like, I'll take them motherfuckers. He's like, I will literally destroy them both. And I was like, Khabib? Maybe not.
Well, they've both beat him.
Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking like, I was going to say Conor. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, well, him and Conor are 1-1. There needs to be a tiebreaker there.
Yeah. Dude,
And-
the UFC is just so cool.
Yeah.
The fact that they just literally go crazy.
And I gotta say, if there ever is a tiebreaker between Conor and Nate, I think Nate's gonna take it. As much as I like Conor, he's just not like he used to be.
Yeah, especially that Daniel Poirier fight.
Yes,
I was like, what?
Conor did not show up for that fight.
I don't know what it was though, or maybe Poirier just was better.
Well, Poirier's a bad fighter too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name? Was it Cormier?
Daniel Cormier?
I don't know. Maybe we're getting their names wrong.
Oh, yeah, he's the black guy, the heavyweight guy, champion.
Which one's the blonde guy?
Oh,
From the show with Conor? The UFC Island or whatever?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
It was Ryan something.
Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah, totally. Hold on. Let me figure this out.
So I hope y'all had a good weekend and have a good week coming up.
Ryan Hall.
Ryan, huh? I mean, it's Monday.
No, not Ryan Hall.
It's got to suck for a lot of y'all.
What's the blonde UFC guy? Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Father's Day coming up. And remember, this Friday, I'm going to be the one uploading the video. And you know... Uriah Faber?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's who I was thinking of.
He was pretty nasty back in his day, too, but he's fallen off quite a bit.
Anyhow, when I brought up Daniel Cormier, people were saying, like, Deji, the KSI's younger brother, after his fight with, I think it was Jake Paul, he started getting fat again. And then he started training for, like, 2 months straight. So he's, like, obviously didn't look as good as the TikTok guy because the TikTok kid's, like, a beast. Like, an actual beast, not like the other TikTok fighters. But he shows up and he looks like Daniel Cormier. And everyone's, like, roasting him. And it's clearly people that don't understand fighting because they think, like, if you have abs, you instantly win.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, they're, like, roasting him because he's overweight and stuff. Like,
well, I have a six-pack behind my keg.
Six-pack, yeah.
It's hid by my Michelin.
That was hilarious.
Ah.
Anyhow, he showed up and, like, he had a stomach and boobs. And everyone's like, oh, it's clearly he's going to lose. And, I mean, he did get gassed after the second round, dude. Literally, the third round started, he took a knee and got another 10 seconds. He's like, I got to catch my breath. But, yeah, he won, like, maybe the first round. And then the second round, it was kind of even. And then the third round, he got TKO'd, so.
Because he was tired? Or did he get hit?
No, he was both.
Yeah.
He was so gassed. That was the same round that he took the knee to catch his breath.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I don't know. He still lost, but people don't understand that, like, with UFC and stuff, it doesn't matter what your weight is. As long as you've trained your cardio enough to stay out there you're pretty like set, you know.
Yeah.
Like Cormier, that man is huge. He's
a
like
beast.
he's 5'11", and he's like a lot overweight. Well, not a lot, but he's overweight. Doesn't have abs.
Yeah, a lot of his is muscle, though. I mean, he's got a little bit of a pouch, but he's got a lot of muscle, too.
Obviously. He's a UFC fighter. But I'm just saying, just because someone doesn't have abs doesn't mean they aren't going to stand a chance.
Right. They'll just gas out in the third round.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, I think that would be awesome. Like, if this podcast blew up or something, and they, like, invited me to do boxing,
we'd have to fight ourselves because we're on YouTube and TikTok.
Oh, no. See, this is what I was thinking about. They said, like, if you blew up, like, you got popular from TikTok and not YouTube, then you're a TikToker, basically, is how they described it for the fight. But, like, I'm not going to, like, be lying or anything. I think we put more effort into filming this for YouTube than we do getting the TikTok clips. I mean, I still edit those, like, maybe an hour after we film them. But, I don't know. I just feel like we film and everything for YouTube. We've been talking for 11 damn minutes.
Holy crap.
Okay, we got to jump right into the first story.
Okay. So up on the farm in the barn, we did a lot of hay in, and we had a lot of hay bales, and they go up and across the barn and fall off. But where we used to park one of the tractors, it was wide open, so we used to pile hay up in the loose hay. And we'd go up on the first or second rafter. Off the second rafter, there was a rope. And we'd come swinging out, and we used to, like, do little flips and land in the hay. Because, I mean, we had a big stack of hay, you know. So this one time, I was by myself, and I don't remember where your uncle was. And I pitchforked up a nice big pile of hay, and got up there, and I came down, and I landed in the hay, and I came up with a pitchfork in my ass. I'd forgot to move the pitchfork. And so I start screaming, and my uncle was coming out of the farmhouse. He was in talking to Grandma or Grandpa, and he comes out as I come running out of the barn screaming, and I got this forklift like bouncing in my ass, so every step I took, it hurt even more, you know.
Yeah.
And so he come running after me, and like I said, I was quick for my size, so it took him a little bit because I was heading home.
Yeah.
You know, I needed Mom. She was a nurse. I wanted Mom. And he tackles me and pulls it out of my ass, and he's laughing. He's like, Sean, that's the funniest damn thing I've ever heard and seen. He said, you come out of there screaming like a banshee, and all I see is this pitchfork, boing, 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 in your ass while you were running. And they didn't take me to the doctor, though. I don't know why.
They were just like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't in very far. I mean, it was just a little pitchfork, but so needless to say, I didn't go up off the rafters anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't really. I tried to avoid all pitchforks after that.
Dude, that is actually crazy. That's like a cartoon type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, let me put a pile of hay, forget to move the pitchfork, like a Tom and Jerry type of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Like a
Tom
Wile
and
E. Coyote.
Was Tom and Jerry a thing back then?
Oh, yeah.
What time did they start making their show?
I'm not sure.
That's an old show regardless.
Yeah. Sesame Street was around back then, too.
Well, as we know, especially from Holland, right? No, Watkins Glen, Mickey Mouse was a thing because you had Mickey Mouse boxers.
Yes.
Underwear, whatever.
Tidy whities.
Oh, I can say this too. I watched The Conjuring 3, and so did you.
Yes.
Did you actually fall asleep to it last night?
Yeah.
Weirdo. Anyhow, no spoilers.
No.
First of all, just it's crazy.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit in that movie.
And the fact that it's like based on a true story.
Yeah.
I was like, nope. Whenever a scary movie says that shit, I'm like, no, sorry, please don't.
Well,
It's like Annabelle.
like I said, I grew up in a haunted house, and I used to do some ghost busting up in Maine and down here, and I've caught shit.
Yeah, you've caught in a ghost in your vacuum.
Yes, my vacuum.
Did we talk about when we first moved in here? I think we have.
I believe so.
That's still one of the creepiest things ever.
Yes.
I don't think we talked about this. My cousin Jake, he's allowing his name now. We used to live in the same house in Maine, which is pretty cool because like you're close to family or whatnot. But there's a forbidden rule: you couldn't toss bouncy balls down the stairs. No one else is home. It's just Jake and I. So what do? We're on the staircase. I'm throwing a bouncy ball off the wall, and he would catch it at the top of the stairs, and he'd boom, 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 send it flying. Like, he'd chuck it, it would go boom, 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 flying off the stairs and the ceiling and coming down, and I'm trying to catch it. And then next thing I know, Jake tosses it on the stairs, and it's a light bouncy ball. Like, it's not enough to shake the house or anything.
Yeah.
Right? So he tosses it, and all of a sudden, the plate in the cabinet just goes kadoosh, and like, you know how the kitchen, like, here's the stairs, the kitchen's over here behind that wall,
Yeah.
and I'm down here, and I hear that, dude, I went up the stairs, we go flying into my room, we're sitting there, and I wish we still had them. I don't know where we put them. You know the old Sea Dog bats that are like this big?
Yes.
Okay, so Jake and I grab one, and we're going down the stairs. Jake's like, I ain't afraid no ghost. And so we cruise down the staircase, and we're like looking in the kitchen through the living room. You know how they had the cutout? And so Jake's like, I ain't afraid no ghost. I ain't afraid no ghost. And he's like smacking the pillows on the couch. Dude, that was like one of the scariest, like most funny things though. Just because like Jake going, I ain't afraid no ghost.
You used to hate, what was it? What was
The
that?
duck, dude.
Yeah,
The
stuffed
goose.
duck. The goose up in there, always looking at you.
Dude, that thing was so creepy. No matter where I slept in the room, it was like that. Everywhere I slept in that room, no matter where I moved my
just a
bed.
goose, man.
No, that thing was not just a goose. That was like a FBI either spying goose or a ghost goose. Because that thing was creepy as shit. That house had some creepy times.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Like, I don't know. I still remember the day we were moving out of the last place we were at down here.
Mm.
Mom looked down the hallway and saw somebody, and I was like, fuck, no.
No, she didn't.
Yes. You can ask her about it after we're done filming.
In the old apartment?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The day we were moving out, we had like everything packed in. You know how we had all the stuff in the living room?
Yeah.
She looked down the hallway and saw someone move across in her room. And I was like, fuck, no. It's giving me chills thinking about it. And so she's like, hold on, I'm going to go outside real quick. I'm like, I'm not staying here. She's like, you got to stay here with Winston. So I'm like sitting there. Winston's sitting beside me because I'm sitting in the corner where the couch was.
Yeah.
And obviously the hallway's down there. So I'm having Winston sit right here. And I'm looking this way on my phone. Like, nope, I'm not looking down that way. It was one of the most creepy things. Like, why would she tell me? If she didn't tell me, I'd be like, whatever.
Well, it's like when your aunt and uncle, Pat and Jeanette, when we went to the cemetery down here, we were using an app that, supposedly shows where there's energy. And a couple blips popped up over here, and your Uncle Pat goes, oh, there's a couple over here. And across my
spirit box?
The spirit box, it said, they see us.
That's creepy.
Yeah. So, I mean, your uncle doesn't want to believe in it because of his spirituality.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that happened when he was with me has got him like, because both him and I are kind of empathic. I can walk by stuff, and if there's some kind of energy attached to it, I can sense it. And it's like your mom and I, will go through a flea market or something. If I go past like something old or something, I can sense it if there's something attached to it. And it's like when we went to the old museum in Dade City, there's something in there, and it's not good. I could sense it, and I couldn't figure out quite where it was coming from.
Yeah, because you talked to the desk lady, right?
Yeah.
You gotta tell that story real quick, and then we'll jump into your second story.
Well, my wife and I went to this old museum in Dade City, Florida, and we went inside. You can go outside, and there's a bunch of different exhibits and stuff. It's actually a pretty cool place. It's like a old Civil War, they do reenactments and stuff there. And so we got done outside, and when we went inside, we were walking around, and I told your mom, I'm like, there's something in here. And, so I'm walking around because most of the time I can figure it out, but I couldn't figure out where this one was coming from. And so we went up, and I said, I'm going to ask the lady if anybody else has ever asked her. And so I went up, and I asked her, I'm like, do you ever feel like you're being watched, and there's nobody here? And she's like, oh yeah, all the time. And I said, well, there's something in I said, there's something in here, and it's not good. And she said, well, I've had a couple different people tell me that. And she says, every now and then I can sense something up behind me. And so I was like, okay, well, just wanted to see if you'd, because it just validated my feeling, that somebody else had felt it too.
Right.
And most of the time, when I was doing the ghost hunting and stuff, in the crew that I was with, I was one of the few that could always get something going because I can't see them, I can't hear them, I can just sense them.
Right.
But most of the time, I could always get some kind of activity, like with the flashlight. Or I have a couple EVPs that are really clear, and a lot of video.
Yeah.
With my K2 meter going off and stuff.
I know. What I think is, even if you are a religious person with the Bible, I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't really think of it trying to defy what is said in the Bible, because I'm pretty sure it's you either go into eternal death or nothingness, or you go to heaven.
Yeah.
So what if that nothingness that is talked about is living here?
Yeah. I mean,
that would be crazy though. You wake up and you're like, yo, I'm dead. You're in the graveyard and you see some dude from 1776 and you're like, yo, you were there when the founding fathers were doing stuff.
Yeah.
That would be so
What
weird.
was it like to live with no TV and shit?
Right. They see me, I'm dressed up like this. They're like, what is that? They're dressed in head what are those called? The powder wig?
Oh yeah.
I think it is powder wig.
I think so.
Is the wig party.
And the hat. Those old hats.
Which ones? The top hats?
Yeah, the weird captain hats and shit.
Oh yeah, one side's flat and the other one's like a pirate hat.
Yes.
Dude, I wish the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, after the first three, they kind of just fell off. I feel like if they kept just the first three, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
But then they made the one where it's him and that girl. That was so boring. I'm not even gonna lie. The fifth one is actually pretty good. I think it's Dead Man's Chest, maybe.
Yeah, I was,
The
sometimes
newest one was good.
sometimes they just take it a little too far. And they get stupid with them.
Like, I think it's cool that we met like his ex-lover or whatever, but like that was the whole movie.
Yeah, that was what, Penelope Cruz?
Yeah, I think so. Anyhow, that's just literally all the movie was that one story.
Yeah.
But then you look at the other three, and it's like, it is one story, but there's interchangeable, like, it's either the second or the third one when they're actually getting Davy Jones' locker, like the chest with his heart, and they're on that island, and Jack is like the king or whatever at the time.
Yes.
And he's like, Nookie Nookie Hana Hana or whatever it is. And they put him on the thing, and they're about to cook him.
they're rotisserie in his ass.
They're rotating him, and he's like, you better stop this right now. And stuff like that. And he starts running with it. Oh,
yeah, and he goes flying over across the bridge or whatever, the little ravine.
He gets like stuck because of the stuff, and then it snaps. And then all the other guys in the crew are like swinging in that
and those
ball.
balls.
And the guy's like, hey, he points to them, and they're trying to race to the top of the cliff. That one is good.
Yes.
All right, what's your second story?
There's a little hill from our farm down to our driveway, and your Uncle Pat and I, we used to like to take our bikes and just freaking pedal them as hard as we could and get off the side of the road into the gravel and lock up the back brakes and see who could leave a skid the furthest.
I think I've heard this one.
And so he went, and it was a pretty good skid, but I'm like, you know what? A lot of times your Uncle Pat used to beat me in just about everything because he had the speed advantage being skinnier than me. And so I'm like, friggin' tired of him kicking my ass. So I'm hauling ass down this hill, and I know I'm going to have the longest skid in freaking history with this one. I'm pumping for everything my big ass could get. And as I slid off on the gravel, my foot slipped off the pedal. And it carried my foot, other foot carried the pedal back around, and it caught my calf. So I go flying over the handlebars, and I go screaming, sliding elbows first through this freaking gravel. And I come up, and I'm spitting gravel out because I think I inhaled a couple pieces as I was cruising through screaming because, holy shit, man. It was a pain I had never experienced. That hurt more than me getting my arm broken with the Three Musketeers sword.
Right.
And I come up, and my elbows, I have matching scars on my elbows. You can't see them, but
I can see them, like on the bumps right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see it.
Right, it starts just before the bump and carries just past the bump. Because I went and so I come up screaming like a little bitch because and I'm looking at my arms, and they're all freaking broken open and gouged open and shit, and I can see stones up in my arm, which just freaked me out even more. So I go run into the house, and I go screaming into the house yelling for Mom, and she's pissed off at me because I hurt myself. She's like, you guys always freaking hurting yourself. And so she get to the point where she'd get pissed off that we hurt ourselves again. So she's trying to clean it up, and she pulls the bones, the stones that you could see out, which didn't feel good at all. I still remember the pain. And she bandages me up, and the next morning I remember I woke up and they were still bleeding pretty bad, and I could feel bumps under my skin and under the scab that was forming. And I told Mom, and I'm like, I think, there's still some stones in there. So she gets mad again, and
Mad
no
again.
pun on the last name. I took a lot of shit for it. And calls up the doctor, and the doctor says, yeah, we'll get him right in, and proceeds to tell me that I got to ride a freaking 10-speed bicycle to the doctor's office. Now, bear in mind, I'm on top of one of the biggest hills in the area.
Yeah.
And the doctor's office is like 12, 13 miles away. And it's like already 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, are you kidding me? She's like, no, you're the one that did this. You got to ride the bike to the doctor's office. And so here I am, trying to pedal my big ass to the doctor's 12, 13 miles away, zipping down hills, walking back up the other side. And I finally get there. And I swear to God, my mom must have told the doctor, just make him hurt. Make him hurt. Because, I mean, I can, this whole thing's always pissed me off, and that I had to ride my bike. But I can laugh about it now because the doctor came at me, and I didn't know what kind of spoon it was. And he had this instrument that was probably 6 inches long, and on one end it was at a point, and on the other end is what people would associate the size of a Coke spoon these days, where you take a little bit of Coke and snort it up your nose. And just proceeds.
I'm glad that's what you think of when you think of the tiny spoon.
Give people reference. I mean, it's just a little spoon on the other end of it.
Yeah, I think people know.
And the dude didn't spray any kind of painkiller on it, didn't give me any kind of painkiller injection or anything, and he just goes right through the scab and starts freaking scraping the stones out of my bone. Oh. And in my right arm, he ended up getting 4 more out, and in my left arm, he got 3 more out. And so now, I'm crying, like a baby again, because that hurt a hell of a lot more than what Mom did, pulling the ones that she could see out. This dude's just scraping away, and I mean, I was screaming and kicking. So he gets done, bandages me up, and I call Mom. And I say, Mom, I'm ready, and I said, I hurt too much to ride the bike home. She said, well, I'll come get you when the doctor's office closes.
Oh, my word.
So I had to sit there till 4 o'clock that afternoon, and then she came and got me.
Dude, why did she do that?
I think it was trying to teach me a lesson.
From what, though?
I don't know. I mean, it's...
You were kids trying to make the biggest skid.
I know, but I mean, you got to understand how big of a pain in the ass I was back then.
Yeah,
with the stories I've told and shit.
That's like an accident, though.
But yeah, I know, and I always asked her, why did you make me ride my bike? And then what pisses me off, come to find out, Pat had done pretty much the same thing one time, and Mom took him to the doctor's office. So, I mean, I didn't find that out till later in life. And, Mom, I love you, but some of the stuff, we aren't too far from me hopping on a bus and heading to Key West at this point. And that was one of the reasons, I mean, life wasn't easy for me in the house. I rebelled against a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I always hated, back then, authority figures telling me what to do. I'm like...
I mean, I don't hate them, but I don't like when people tell me what to do.
No, I never did, and that's always gotten me in trouble. That's why I couldn't have gone in the military, even if I was skinny enough.
Legit, and I think about that. Did you know you can't have a past with, like, anxiety or depression?
No, I didn't.
Anyhow, guess who's not getting drafted? Anyways. I always said this. Like, I feel like if I was ever in, like, the military, Dude, if someone's yelling in my face and they look like they're trying to be mean, I'm laughing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I can already see, like, I'd either be scared or I'm actually dying laughing
And
while
if
this
I'm
person's
not
like,
laughing,
get the fuck on your face. Yeah.
I'll be flipping them off.
Like, oh, you forgot to shine that part of your shoe. I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry. Like, I'd do some sarcastic ass comment. Drop down and give me 1,000. What's that going to do, buddy?
Yeah. How's that gonna help you any or me?
Right.
You
It's just
know?
going to make me worse for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hate you more. That's the way I look at it. Listen, you know, I might drop down and give you 100, but I can't give you 1,000. I'm not physically capable of that unless you want to wait for, you know, I'll give you 100 a day for 10 days.
Yeah.
You know, but I can't give you 1,000 right now.
Yeah, pretty rough.
It's like, you know, one of my favorite shows is Band of Brothers.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
And man,
you know what's funny? I was
the way
really
they
about
used
to
run
say.
up Currahee.
I was gonna say we should watch that, or Saving Private Ryan,
Yeah, both. Good.
or Pearl Harbor,
Yes, I like them all.
or Warsaw Ridge, or Hacksaw Ridge.
Heck, Warsaw Ridge.
What's the war? Is it just Warsaw? What's that movie called?
I'm not sure.
Hold on, now I gotta figure this out too. Oh, this is funny. My brother's fiance says it's borderline hard to listen to the My Crazy Dad podcast at work because it literally makes me laugh until I cry every effing episode.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's funny.
Sorry we make you cry, though. Not. No, you know, can't wait to see you guys in
Yeah.
August.
That's gonna be fun. What was I gonna look up? Oh, Warsaw. It's in Poland. That's what I'm thinking of. Warsaw, the city.
Oh yeah.
What happened there?
Oh, I can't remember. I'm not sure. But I got your mom to watch Hidden Figures yesterday.
Did she like it?
She absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that one's good.
She posted on her Facebook that it's the first movie she's watched all the way to the end in a long time.
Shit. What was I gonna say? God, dude. I was gonna say something, but
I can't.
oh, if you guys don't know the history of Ireland, there's like a 17-minute video about it. I was never taught this stuff in school, so I don't know. I didn't know about it. Like, dude, during World War I, the Irish were fighting the British.
Yes.
I had no clue. No one told me that. And so, like, and listen, I'm not one of those people that goes, that was never taught, because I just didn't listen. Like, I listen to, like, almost everything. And that's one of the things they never talked about was the history of Ireland.
Yeah, people have always looked down on us Irish.
I don't know
We're
why.
just potato farmers.
Yeah.
What the hell do we know?
Well, that's pretty much all we could do. No offense, because now it's different.
Hey, we make some of the best freaking liquor there is, too.
And it almost reminds me of exactly how the U.S. split apart. Like, the Irish are being taxed without representation.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if it was without representation, but they were being taxed by the British.
They need a Dublin Tea Party.
A Dublin Tea Party. I know. It's just cool. You guys should watch the video if you don't know the history of Ireland. It doesn't talk about the potato famine because that was a little before. That, the British army did help with that a little bit. There were still a lot of deaths, but they were trying to keep the people fed. And you know what's crazy is a ship or whatever it is, something from Mexico went to the U.S. during the trade. And then the U.S. brought that potato famine to Ireland. And so it's the U.S.'s fault that they had the potato famine.
Freaking Merca.
That's what I'm saying. Ruining our friggin' people.
Yes. and then making us indentured servants.
Yep. That's crazy. I know, it's pretty cool. If you guys want to look at it, you can, but
I want retribution.
oh my god. I knew you were going to say some dumbass joke like that.
I'm kidding.
Don't say anything crazy.
I'm not.
Anyhow, I think that's going to be it for this one. But yeah, if you guys, for the third time, want to watch it, just go have a look at it.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched Hidden Figures, it's actually a very, very good movie. I'd give it a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10.
Damn. I don't think it was that good for me. I think...
there's parts I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
And, and when, there's a couple parts I actually teared up a little bit. I'm a softie.
I mean, I'm a softie, but I've only cried for like...
I bawled my eyes out during The Notebook.
Really?
No.
Oh. One show that has made me cry the most was The Office, definitely. Like when Michael shows up for Dwight's wedding, I was like, oh. And then the show ended for the first time, and I was crying. If I can think off the top of my head, everything that's made me cry. When I was a little kid, Passion of the Christ made me cry.
That was a brutal movie.
Yeah. I just remember watching that with Papa when I was like 6.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that one, Marley and Me. Marley and Me's sad, dude.
Yes, it is.
I love dogs. I like cats, but they're not as cool as dogs.
It's just like, Winston's probably only going to live to be like 11 to 12 years old.
Don't say that shit.
And
that means he only has 10 years.
I know, but there'll be 10 good years.
Yes. I mean, he's sitting right outside that door. I heard him plop down. Let's see. The third one was The Office. The fourth one is actually, and people will probably call me cringy for this or whatnot, but it's a anime. It was a movie called Your Name, and it's really good. Like, if you guys would get past the part that it's like a cartoon, there's so many good stuff that I could show you, and they have English versions of it.
I know, I just can't get into it.
It's like it's a 2-hour movie. I'll give you the plot, okay? Basically, this meteor, right, splits apart and destroys this one town. Spoilers, if anyone is gonna watch it. So if you want to watch Your Name, just click off. Anyhow.
Most people don't make it this far into our show.
But if you do, yeah, click off. So anyhow, a meteor hits this town, right? Obliterates everybody. That whole town. And a kid that lives in Tokyo is like, and the girl that lives in that town were switching lives. Like every day they would like switch to the other person, and they would write down in their phones like what they did that day and everything. And then it came to find out he went to call her, and it disconnects and everything, and all the messages, all the stuff that she saved onto his phone were gone, everything. And it turns out she lived in that town, and it was like a spiritual, like 7 years in the future type of thing. So then he is in her body, because he asked like one more time, like he drank. She made a sake. You know what that is?
Sake?
Sake, yeah. It's rice.
Rice wine.
Yeah. And she put it in like a temple type of thing. And he goes and drinks and asks like be in her body one more time that night that the meteor hit. And so he's like trying his hardest as the girl to like get everybody to like
get out of the village.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's just like a whole twist and turn. He ends up switching out of her body, and then like they're like trying to find each other. I don't know, dude. It is so sad. And that was the only movie that ever made me cry, like of any anime, I guess you could say. And I think it's like respectable. I mean, a lot of people have cried in it because like, I don't know, it's a good story. I guess like if you put aside that it's a cartoon, the story's really crazy. Yeah, that's basically it.
Nice.
Mhm. I won't spoil too much in case you do want to try watching it later, phone. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Season 2, episode 10.
Episode 10.
You know what we forgot to do as well? Get the picture of you and me at the same age. So we'll have to do that.
We'll have to do that.
When should we film Friday's episode?
You're leaving Thursday?
Yeah.
We'll do it Wednesday.
Like we normally do?
Yeah.
Okay. And now
That way you can get it all ready to go. So I don't have to do much.
Make me do everything.
Well, you are the producer.
That's true. All right. Yeah, we're going to call it.
And I am the technotard.
Yes. You're very bad at technology for some reason.
Well, once I got my smartphone and everything was on there, I didn't need a computer anymore.
No, you are dumb with that too. No offense.
A little bit.
No, not a little bit. A lot of bit. You have like 50 screens of apps, and I tried telling you can just
No, I only
search
have
the stuff
3
up.
now.
Okay. Anyhow, he tries looking for the stuff, and I'm like, dude, literally just search it. And then when he wants to look at old photos, he doesn't go to camera roll. He goes to camera, clicks the preview in the bottom left, and swipes all the way through. And I'm like,
Well, no, I hit all photos now.
what? All photos?
Yeah, and it brings all of them up, so I scroll through them that way now.
Why don't you just go to camera roll? They made it for a reason.
I don't know. And if you watch us on TikTok, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, I started a TikTok with our dog Winston.
Last time, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can say it again, though.
And it's Sean, SEANM207.
You know what? I think I'll just follow both of our accounts on the My Crazy Dad podcast account.
Okay.
So then, like, if anyone wants to check either of us out, then
Yeah, there's like 20-some videos. Just life with an American Bulldog.
he is kind of crazy.
He's very crazy.
Well, he's not very crazy.
What I'm surprised is the one of him table surfing only has 5 views.
I don't know. Took us a while to start getting into the hundreds of views.
Yeah,
And then
well, a
after
lot of
that-
his videos are in the hundreds, but that one's only got 5.
So now you can't make fun of me for having that 150 view video.
That's right.
But yeah, that's going to be it. We'll see you guys Friday.
Yes.
We hope you have a, I guess we could say that for Friday's episode.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, I'm going to forget it's Father's Day Sunday. And I don't think you really care that much, but
No, I don't.
I don't know. Why is that even like a holiday? Like, we have your birthdays that you celebrate, like, hey, that's my parents' birthday. But I don't know.
It doesn't bother me any.
But yes, we're going to get off. We will see you guys Friday.
And yeah, we appreciate everybody still sticking with us. Love y'all. Hasta luego, homies and homies!